Howdy and aloha, everyone. It's James with Monotalk. It is April the 27th, 2025. And you know what? I didn't set up the restream. Oh my god, I knew I forgot something. I think I can still fix that. Let me see. Gosh darn it. While I'm fixing that, I'm just going to say, oh god, there's all kinds of stuff going on here. Signed in. The topic tonight is Rudy Giuliani, Sidney Powell, Tulsi Gabbard, Donald Trump 2024 election. And recently, Tulsi's indicating to people it's 756th show, I guess. Close to it. I know it's over 700. Stop the steal. Yet? I don't know. I'm just going to put stop the steal. Yeah, so I'm going to remove that and then put that. I think we're okay here. Updating. Yeah, it should say that now. I don't know if it's going to change in YouTube, but there's a lot of information out there that came through Stop the Steal on just a plethora of information that was coming from Rudy Giuliani and Sidney Powell. And this is right after the November 3rd, 2020 election. And they were hot on it. As I had shown in previous Monotalk shows, I couldn't find the exact one, but I went to ballotpedia.com and I was able to indicate of all the states, a lot of them mostly blue, that took a freaking long ass time because of Fluvid-19 to count ballots. Or people thought it was, or I think, it's enough time to maneuver numbers and to do a little bit of refabrication, let's just say the word is, or altering of information that I believed was the case. I really thought, I still think that's the case. I gotta get out of there. The thing is, there's still a lot of people that believe that. I would say at least 60+% of the voting electorate throughout the United States right now, at least, believe that 2020 was rigged. They also believe that January 6th was a setup to put a dark impression into people's minds, and it was very elaborate. And I'm hearing Kash Patel, and I'm hearing Pam Bondi, and I'm hearing cabinet members talk about a lot of things that they're doing regarding the cartels, MS-13 and Tierra Agua and all these other things. All these other heinous, very disturbing and malicious groups that were allowed into this country, thousands and thousands of them. And They're going after a lot of that. I think that's good. Thank you. We appreciate it. Keep it up. But there's also nothing really happening. And that is concerning to me because, well, Trump, in some way, shape, or form, believes that he's going to be able to run again in 2028. Or if he's able to prove with beyond a shadow of a doubt or unequivocally, in a jury or trial or whatever, that it was rigged and the data will be exposed, which Tulsi Gabbard is saying that's the case. The question is will he be able to, will they go, well, hell, we owe you. If that's the case, we owe Trump, to stop the steal being verified. And I'm telling you, there's so much information now coming out about Dominion and the lawsuits that didn't go through. And kind of. They were just frivolous. Because they claimed it was like a defamation of character, slander from Giuliani. He kept talking about the machines and the company, Dominion, and these other companies that have the electronic voting. But what's really interesting is knowing that the states that had paper ballots, receipts, Trump did extremely well in both 2020 and 2024. It's odd that in these blue states, with Dominion machines and all these other hackables, according to certain professionals, machines didn't do too well for Trump. Once, twice. Are we seeing a pattern here? I mean, if I go through here and I look up all the accusations against Giuliani and Trump, and I mean, there's all kinds of crap here. Right? Trump campaign distanced itself from Sidney Powell after multiple incorrect election claims. Are they? The Telegraph, which is completely biased, completely on the side of Democrats. The Associated Press, completely biased, completely on the side of Democrats, Demoncrats. Right? Rudy Giuliani snubs Sidney Powell, and they kind of go at it. Like right here, I mean, there were protests everywhere. Right? There were fucking protests everywhere. We're going to get a commercial. And my YouTube is just running so freaking slow today. So freaking slow.
Many things are wrapped up with the protest about a half hour ago. They all began at around 11 o'clock today, so a little over 4 hours of demonstrating all told in Spokane. And unlike the scenes you just saw there in DC, the scenes here in Spokane, you can go ahead and take a look now at some of this video we shot earlier today. These scenes were peaceful. They began with, as you can hear there,
peaceful.
A lot of trucks and cars honking their horns. A lot of the demonstration today was done in vehicles, actually not on foot. They drove around the city. They were originally intending to do sort of a parade. That kind of got broken up by traffic laws and whatnot. They were kind of scattered about the city. Eventually, they regrouped at the Spokane Arena, then came down here to the courthouse where I am now, and they had a small demonstration outside the courthouse where they had various chants and whatnot. Now, again, like I mentioned, the protests here were peaceful. The ones obviously in DC were not. So I asked some of the protesters here what they thought about that violence, and they said they thought those folks were justified. Take a listen.
They're fighting for freedom. They're fighting for what our country was built on. Our Constitution, our Bill of Rights, our Declaration of Independence.
Do you think it's right to do that by raiding the Capitol building?
Do you think it's right for people to come down and root?
Look, I gotta say this. There are some cute and pretty Demoncratic supporting girls out there, but Republican or conservative women are just so fucking pure and hot. God. They're all. It's just. Oh my God.
Root and riot and steal for no reason
Right,
whatsoever.
so if you had an issue with that, do you not have an issue with this?
I think
There's another Stop the Steal protest.
People gathered in downtown Raleigh today to protest the ballots still being counted. The event was called Stop the Steal.
This is just after November 2020.
Peaceful protest. It was put on by Reopen NC, the group that fought to reopen businesses and schools during the pandemic. Protesters are unhappy ballots are not being counted faster here in North Carolina. But under a court order, ballots have until November 12th to get in as long as they're postmarked by Election Day. Protesters claim they're...
Yeah, it's a long time. That happened a lot. But it was more so... There were a few states that I had showed you that had like a month and a half to do whatever they fucking wanted. Here's another one. See if this is a commercial, probably.
And Indiana had its own protests through demonstrations, but they were much calmer here. A group of Hoosiers joining those in the nation's capital protesting Joe Biden's presidential win. Supporters of President Donald Trump gathering at the State House downtown for a Stop the Steal rally. These protests remained peaceful, though. Indiana Governor Eric Holcomb supporting the right to protest, but condemning the violence in Washington, D.C.
Let's see if we got some more. It's a commercial I don't want to see. Anthony Robbins.
Trump is still your president!
It's legal for them to count votes in Pennsylvania 2 days after the election on November 3rd?
Yes.
You're wrong. Go. I don't even want to talk to you.
I believe that Donald Trump won the election. I believe that they tried to steal.
There's a point somebody made. I got to bring this up. Somebody mentioned this. Maybe I'm on the wrong YouTube. It's not on there. I don't even why I know. No, I don't even know why I had that up, honestly. But it was two. My computer is really running hard.
And Indiana had its own protests through demonstrations.
People gathered in downtown Raleigh.
Well, Whitney, things wrapped up with the protest about a half hour ago. They all began at around 11 o'clock today.
This thing's running so slow.
Rudy Giuliani has now been sued like Sidney Powell for over $1 billion for what they said about Dominion voting. And Sidney Powell was daring Dominion to sue her because she wanted to open it for discovery. Take a listen.
Dominion and the software company, it's not Select, I'm sorry, help me out. The
Smartmatic.
Thank you. That they might sue you for the allegations you made yesterday, and I'm wondering what your response was. I'm guessing you'd welcome that because that would bring on discovery of these things.
Oh yeah, I'd love to have full discovery because right now we're limited to what we can do in the election contest, and that doesn't include discovery. But yeah, I'd love to have civil discovery of everything about Dominion and Smartmatic and Lord Malik Brown, the Soros guy, and the Venezuelan people that put this together and sold it all over the world, and Mr. Eric Coomers, who's on video saying he had the election rigged with a Black Lives Matter or Antifa group, bragging about how he'd had it fixed for Biden. Nobody had to worry about it. Yeah, give me civil discovery. I'll take that any day.
So only time will tell, but my question to you is, does Sidney Powell have this cracking? Did she want to get sued, or was she bluffing? And do you think she's going to win in court and expose Dominion, or do you think she was bluffing and isn't going to win in court, or do you think somewhere in the middle? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section.
That was my anomaly, which is 4 years ago. That was during that time. Okay. So she brought up some very interesting. She brought up Valenzuela. I can't even say that. Valenzuela. You gotta say it like you're Hispanic. And I think that's kind of odd. Don't you think that's kind of odd? There's a lot of key players here, I think, that help that move forward. And I'm concerned, my biggest concern, because, let me see. I should have fucking saved that. I don't know I didn't save it, but I'm going to just say it. Ivanka Trump came out and said the voting results were correct. And then Trump came out and pretty much just bent over at some point. Just pissed off a lot of MAGA, pissed off a lot of people. They were very disappointed. And then now, Tulsi Gabbard is saying, I got it in here somewhere. Oh, is that in here? Where is it? I know I was just watching it, gosh darn it. Let me see. Boop, boop, boop. I think it's in my... Let's check the history. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is a good one.
Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics. Secondly, we're in a situation where we have put together, and you guys did it for our administration, the President Obama's administration before this. We have put together, I think, the most extensive and inclusive voter fraud organization in the history of American politics.
Whether that was taken out of context or anything which it was, and I've watched the whole thing before in this other video, he actually said that. And we know that Joe Biden gaffes. Joe Biden doesn't say the right things in the script. He messes up words. He's dyslexic. I don't know. He's senile, old, incapable of doing certain jobs, but yet he was able to run the country. Yeah. So we'll just take that one as a grain of salt for now. But the one I wanted to also show you is right here. Commercial. Guaranteed commercial. Guaranteed. There it is. Skip.
Election integrity being one of them.
Oh yeah, by the way, I'm the Director of National Intelligence. We've just discovered that our elections can be hacked by foreign powers, and maybe that happen any
Sometimes
further.
he's kind of... I like Benny.
My goodness gracious.
Got a long list of things that we're investigating. We have the best of the best going after this. Election integrity being one of them. We have evidence of how these electronic voting systems have been vulnerable to hackers for a very long time and vulnerable to exploitation to manipulate the results of the votes being cast. A list of things that we're investigating. We have the best of the best going after this. Election integrity being one of them. We have evidence of how these electronic voting systems have been vulnerable to hackers for a very long time and vulnerable to exploitation to manipulate the results of the votes being cast, which further drives forward your mandate to bring about paper ballots.
My goodness gracious.
Wait, one more time.
A long list of things that we're investigating. We have the best of the best going after this. Election integrity being one of them. We have evidence of how these electronic voting systems have been vulnerable to hackers for a very long time and vulnerable to exploitation to manipulate the results of the votes being cast, which further drives forward your mandate to bring about paper ballots across the country so that voters can have faith in the integrity of our...
Wait a second. I want to see something real quick.
To bring about paper ballots across the country so that voters can have faith in the...
Do you see the look on Robert F. Kennedy's face? You can't really see it.
Integrity.
But he's like, for fuck. Right? Marco Rubio's just a ding-dong. There's Bugle or something. I forget. Snork knows this guy. He's sitting right next to between him. Yeah, this is kind of interesting. Oh, hey Jordan, how you doing, buddy? Good seeing you. Wait, Dominion investigate BlackRock. Yeah, it's all connected. Trust me. Aloha, brother. Aloha. Yeah, this is interesting. Is Trump gonna? Here's my concern. I mean, this would completely, if the receipts are there, if the receipts or the data or the emails, the videos, whatever else, there's been tons of videos of all kinds of ballot stuffing and all kinds of crap. And, J6 is bullshit, and we all know that. But the thing is this is pretty hard. If she's got hard evidence, and remember, the previous administration thought they were deleting everything. Delete. And then Elon Musk comes up and says, hey, by the way, you guys don't know computers. We found all that stuff. Yeah, it's still in the hard drive. People don't understand the way it works. It's just overlapped, in a sense. You can clean it and bring it back out, right? But here's something that I think people really need to understand and be concerned about, because I am. Will Trump pursue this? Right? Are you going after? Are you going to let, Sidney Powell put in a fucking ton of work for 3 or 4 months until they got ransacked. FBI took them in. They got custody. They were arrested. All kinds of Bologanov crap. Both of them, and Rudy Giuliani said, oh, they took my laptop, so you didn't have a backup somewhere? Right? As I've always said, the guy who had Hunter Biden's laptop, which really existed, that would have made a difference, right? That would have made a huge difference. And they said that was bullshit, but it actually exists now. If we know that Russiagate was bullshit, and everybody knows, if you're paying attention, just Aaron Matei and fucking Jimmy Dore and Max Blumenthal and just a lot of people out there, Jason Burmis, Whitney Webb, Ryan Christian, people that I've had conversations with, people you may not even know. Anomaly, I've had a chat with him a couple times. Right? These people all know what happened with Russiagate. Everybody fucking knows that was bullshit. It was a big fucking lie. And then the next thing is all these impeachments, just baloney. And these felonies were completely ludicrous. Are turning out to be even worse on the part of the prosecutors and the judges handling those cases. And if you fail or just don't want to agree or just think I'm full of baloney, then put the comment in. And I'll send you all the fucking receipts, all the data, all the videos, all the information. I've got a cloud here. I've got a storage here. I've got this there and that there. And I'm telling you, there's a lot of other people that have my information that I've sent it to. And by the way, I never am going to commit suicide. Ever, never, ever. I'm just saying now, if they can put together a case, which I'm hoping they can, and completely reveal that the Demoncratic Party are a bunch of demons, not in a good way, like Call of Duty good way, then fucking take them down. Because that's why I left that party, because they're full of shit. Bernie is a sheepdog. He fucking fooled me twice. Barack Obama was a fucking big sheepdog who fooled everybody twice. Right? But this is different. We have information now. I've checked sources. I've spoken to legislators. I've spoken to candidates. I've spoken to interns. I've gotten their perspective and their ideas. And when you call and speak to your state's legislators and you get an intern, they have a binder, they have a tablet or something. And as soon as you start talking to them and the topic comes up, they put it in. They put it in and it pushes back how they're supposed to respond. That's the way it works. Before they used to use binders. I've seen it. And they'll tell you where their legislator for the state or for the federal government part, the two senators or the several House of Representatives in the state that you have, depending on how big it is, you could have a lot of House of Representatives, especially if you're in California. Okay, but they're going to tell you where they stand on things, and that's where you get your information. You go to the sources, the horse's mouth. Find out what's going on. Talk to the doctor. Talk to the lawyer. Talk to the engineer. Right? Get it on record. Yeah. And a lot of these people are compromised. There are some people that aren't going to give you what you think. What you want to believe and what you should believe are two different things, depending on where it comes from. So the corporations or big pharma, big military industrial complex, big banks, big whatever, big chemical, the list goes on and on, want you to believe this. The the national governmental organizations like the World Economic Forum, the World Health Organization, Chatham House, all these other fucking, even like the Clinton Foundation, the Obama Foundation, the fucking Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, they want you to think a certain way too, right? And the thing is a lot of people do. And I see it all the time on Facebook. I see it all the time on Twitter. A lot of people are manipulated. Then they start saying the same things. Well, you're manipulated. Well, you're indoctrinated. You're a cult. No, you're a cult. Well, that's what they want. They want the polarization. They want the polarization. They want us to keep fighting each other. That's just the process. It's the way they've been doing it for a long fucking time. And I had what did I do with it? I had this little picture. I wonder if I still got it. George NATO War. Cheers. Complicit Dems. Time Magazine crap. Claudex. COVID death numbers. Don't trust it. Oh yeah. Well. Isolated celebrities, left finger, curb stopped. It started. Yeah, I don't know if I have that. I got tons of pictures there. Here's close. this one? No, it's not that one. True enemies. Yeah, here's the ones. This is so hard for people to believe, though. And there's that old adage from Mark Twain, I believe, is harder to fool. It is harder to prove to somebody that they've been fooled than it is to fool them. That's it. But here's all the culprits. There's all the NGOs. There's all the... I researched all of this. There's Telegraph, Associated Press, MSNBC, CBS, PBS, NIH, FDA, just all the Daily Beast, of course. I'd put a new one right there. World Economic Forum, World Health Organization, Council on Foreign Relations, CFR, down the bottom right there. New mutant variants discovered. These are the pandemics. These are your enemies. These are the people that kind of dictate your perception. They dictate your direction. They steer you towards a certain way of thinking. You know, this girl who I think is smart, it just takes time. I was young too. But you start to put these pieces together, and as you get older, you get a little wiser, get a little wisdom, and you start to realize, right? And this is not a big tangent, but I always want to make sure people understand this, is that these billion-dollar companies, right? These billion-dollar companies, which are Fox News, PBS, CNN, CBS, these are giant corporations. They get rich from their advertisers, not you. So their advertisers control what they say. They can't get on here and just completely blackmail Pfizer or Dow Chemical or Boeing or Lockheed Martin. They can't. Those are some of their biggest, and what's really weird is that money usually comes from us, is what we're finding out. People need to understand that full circle, USAID and all this money that goes out and pays for, we just approved, $900 billion to the military-industrial complex, and how much of that goes to our troops to help them, to make sure they're safe and protected and not injected with this COVID-19 genocidal bioweapon crap in their arms. Yeah, so here we are, right? And I think it's important now we know that there's information coming. And I am hoping and I'm praying that freaking the Trump administration and the cabinet will expose it. I mean, if Trump's going to go down honorably, he has to go. If he's going to go down in history as being an honorable, ethical, righteous type person, man of God, then I pray that he will. I pray that he'll expose all the information in regards to the Demoncratic Party. Oh, what's this? I want to see this. This is commercial. Probably commercial. I don't think I'm monetized yet. Shout. I'm watching the chat. Let me know. Let me see what we got here.
Not like them.
Sell North Korea
uranium one
for their bomb project by replacing the uranium that Rosatom was selling to North Korea.
We used to have some great conversations on here. That's what Montauk is about, just to let you know. A lot of these people weren't going in the same direction, but all in all, we knew that there's corruption. There's a duopoly. There still are Demoncrats and Rhipigglicans, Rhino Republicans, that don't give a shit about you, and they've made a lot of money and finance and backroom deals and getting greased and Cayman Island and offshore accounts from South Africa and Swedish bank accounts. And it's just, we're tired of it. And there's a group of people out there that believe that, and have tons of evidence to prove that we're just sick, that there's just too much fucking corruption on both sides of the aisle. You know, I'm an independent, and that's the reason. I voted for Obama twice. And then I voted for fucking some Green Party chick instead of Trump. I was just fucked up. And then I had some people that kept sending me a couple of pieces of information, and they said, just look at the information. Just study yourself. It's not from CNN. It's not from Fox News. It's just, you know, talk to these, you know, and I started to develop my own perspective. It's just the way it was. And then these people are like real town people. They got families. They're in Winnebagos, or they travel, or, you know, they show pictures of who they are and what they do on their Facebook. Nothing's made up. I've met a few of them. I've Zoomed with a few of them. They've come on my show. I had from RB Ham from Canada always told me, man, I'm telling you, Jim, just don't leave that thought out that Trump isn't the person the mainstream media tries to put him out to be. And okay. I'll just keep in mind, but I'm still, you know, open to pretty much, you know, a lot of things politically. I want to know from all the angles so I can make the best decision for me, myself, my family, my friends, my loved ones, etc. You know, it's important. And the thing is, I don't even know if you can see this, but the thing is it held true. It just held true. Over time, I started to understand who the true enemy was. I started to figure out who the true enemy really was. Right? I started to fucking put it together. And it affects so many people. Right? And they've just been trying to do this to us for so long. This is like the oldest tactic in the book. Divide and conquer. Keep them fighting each other over petty shit, gender, trans, what all this other crap. Right? Making it like, whatever. No, just keep that shit away from my kids. Let them grow up and do whatever the fuck they want. Whatever. Right? That's just me. Divide and conquer. If the 99% continue to fight each other, then we'll never defeat the true enemy. The World Economic Forum. Stop being their pawns of division. These guys are crafty. They're not a joke. I don't know why people take them so fucking lightly. They're a serious, heinous, just a terrible. Here, look. Let me just play part of their. That music is probably brainwashing me already. Here we go. Let's get to the beginning here.
From the World Economic Forum in Geneva, Switzerland, I'm Adrian Monk. During today's Agenda Dialogue, we'll try to answer this crucial question with thought leaders and decision makers in global trade. Our speakers today, Director...
What did he say? I didn't like the way that came out, but you gotta. This is the way they think. You gotta kind of read around the lines and inside of them.
How can we ensure that trade on the global stage is profitable, equitable, and most importantly, sustainable? Hello from the World Economic Forum in Geneva, Switzerland. I'm Adrian Monk. During today's Agenda Dialogue, we'll try to answer this crucial question with thought leaders and decision makers in global.
Thought leaders and the decision makers, right? You guys need to understand those two words, thought leaders. I swear to gosh, I'm not going to play any more of this because I think that pretty much tells you how these people think. They really believe they're going to lead your thoughts. They know. They've been doing it. It's just so crazy. It's just in your face, so obvious. Right? Where did that picture go? God damn it. I just had it up for a fucking reason. Oh, God. Hang on. Where we go? Yeah, so there was this picture out recently. Right? There was this picture out recently that said that Trump went to the Vatican funeral for Pope Jean Paul in a blue suit, and nobody else was like that. Because the dress code was, the Vatican asked Pope Francis funeral attendees to wear all black. Trump wore a blue suit. But then the real picture that was blown up and shown to everybody and not digitally enhanced and hasn't been that they've had to apologize for from Fortune magazine, right? Which is completely biased. They had to redact the picture. They had to retract the picture. Not redact. Retract the picture. Did you see that? Did you see how that just happened? And then the other day they did. CNN shows Donald Trump talking at the podium in regards to something, and it shows that he looks like orange. You know, orange man, bad. Everybody knows that. Everybody uses that. It's in their head. Trump derangement syndrome, or just, you know, being fucking easily hypnotized. And then they show it the way it in its purest form, and he's not. He's just some white fucking old dude talking. I'm telling you, it is amazing that these people, and back to my concern. Will Trump fucking do what I hope he's going to do, and just completely and finally and hopefully get rid of, right? Just fucking get rid of. Yeah, an HK. I want to get an HK for some reason now. Anyway, I don't know. It's just better. Anyway, Leonardi Joni. Oh, that chick is so super hot. 2020 election fraud exposed, the hidden truth revealed. I recommend you go look at Forgotten History. Okay. Let me just show a little bit of it right now. It's probably going to be a commercial. No, here it is.
Pivotal quality of a country's governance. Used. No paper trail. Other whistleblowers claimed that up to 288,000 ballots disappeared. Another 100,000 were improperly backdated.
I'm actually gonna grab this and put it in. Let me see if I can I'm gonna put this as part 1 and part 2 because there's a lot going on. You just gotta watch it. Let me just put it in the Restreamo here. And the updates and the notes and the notes and the update and the update and the notes. Put that there. Let's grab the title here. 2020 election from. Put that in there as well. Colon. All right. What did I do? God damn it. I hate when these Microsoft Windows pop up out of fucking nowhere. It just trips me out. Yeah, stop this deal now. There you go. That's even better. All right. There's just tons of information in there. There's lots of receipts. I've got a lot of information as well. But let me just go back to here and go to the beginning. That's what I thought was in. That was good. Well, looking on form. Yeah, she fucking exposed it. Julia and Sidney Powell sued for $1.3 billion. I think they dropped their lawsuit. I'm pretty sure they dropped the lawsuit. I don't know. Might want to look into that. It could be off. Let's go to playlist. I think I had something in the playlist I wanted to show. Mana Talk Tonight.
An airfield in rural Nevada.
Hello, Nevada.
Taken over by a throng of Trump supporters, despite state COVID crowd restrictions that limit gatherings to 50.
But your governor tried to stop us.
This site chosen after other venues refused to buck state COVID rules. The president relished the open defiance.
Tried very hard to stop us from having this event tonight. We call this a protest because if you call it a protest, you're allowed to have it.
President Trump attacked polling that shows Joe Biden ahead in this battleground state that Clinton won in 2016. Biden leads in Nevada 46-42 over the president, according to a New York Times poll, while Mr. Trump retains support for his handling of the economy.
Joe Biden's agenda is made in China. My agenda is made in the USA.
The president
That's fucking true.
repeatedly sowed mistrust in the election process.
It's a rigged election. It's the only way we're going to lose.
On
What?
Election. It's the only way we're going to lose.
On COVID election process.
It's a rigged election. It's the only way we're going to lose.
On COVID, the president again insisted the worst of the pandemic is behind us, contradicting Dr. Fauci.
We're rounding the turn. And
You guys kind of getting this? It's just I'm very kind of skeptical here if they're going to really get rid of the Democratic. That's it. That's pretty much it. That's it. I'm concerned that they're not going to fucking do it. That's what my concern is. My concern is that they're not going to go after
An airfield in rural Nevada.
Hello, Nevada.
Taken over by a throng of Trump supporters, despite state COVID crowd restrictions that limit gatherings to 50.
But your governor tried to stop us.
This site chosen after other venues refused to buck.
commercial. Fuck. I gotta edit a lot of shit now. God damn it. Oh no, maybe not.
No evidence of vote fraud in this election? There's plenty at this point. An election training video in Detroit, #DetroitLeaks, shows that ballot counters were instructed to enter challenge ballots into vote tabulating machines in Wayne County. Normally, challenge ballots would be set aside and not counted. And White House Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany told Sean Hannity this week that the Trump campaign has 234 pages of sworn affidavits from witnesses alleging vote fraud.
They are alleging, this is one county, Wayne County, Michigan. They are saying that there was a batch of ballots where 60% had the same signature. They are saying that 35 ballots had no voter record, but they were counted anyway. That 50 ballots were run multiple times through a tabulation machine. That one woman said her son was deceased, but nevertheless somehow voted.
In Nevada, at least 10,000 non-residents were allowed to send in ballots for counting there. And what about Pennsylvania and other states? Well, here to share some evidence is Neil McCabe. He's communications director at Project Veritas. Neil, thanks for your time. So I know your organization and James O'Keefe are known for your many undercover videos. We've shown portions of them over the years. Now, you've received more than 12,000 tips about fraud this time, some from whistleblowers afraid to come forward. So tell us what you've discovered overall.
Well, you know, Gary, we've received, as you said, thousands and thousands of phone calls and emails, and we're sifting through all of them. We have a special team of people dedicated to make sure that we sort of separate the wheat from the chaff. But we do have very important whistleblowers who have come forward. 2 postal workers in Traverse City, Michigan, confirmed to us that late ballots were being collected, sorted separately so that they could be postmarked November 3rd. And these are late ballots that came in after Election Day. Richard Hopkins, who is a mail carrier in Erie, Pennsylvania, he came forward with a similar account. He said that he overheard his postmaster rebuking a supervisor because one of the late ballots that came in was postmarked November 4th instead of the 3rd. Now, Hopkins said he heard this.
All right, I gotta do it. I gotta go here. So, sorry. I'm gonna go to Wikipedia, list of political parties, and I'll go in here. I think this won't take long. 2020 election, ballot measures, I think it was. This thing is running fucking slow. I think it was 2020 general election late counting is what I put in. Shit. That wasn't late counting. Election more time to count or something. Because of COVID-19. Yeah, that's it. Change to election dates and procedures. Yeah. So let's see. So California. Support public schools. Disclosures. Relative state enforcement of federal vaccination mandates. Oh, that's not good. Let's just see here. Response news, no. Ballot coverage of criminal includes how federal, state, and local government respond and how those responsible influence elections and operates of political campaigns and economy, schools, and more. General time of network. State response, state travel restrictions, school opening, state noteworthy coronavirus lawsuits, diagnosis. I think it's in here. May, June, February, December, November, September. Can you imagine that? They shut down the playgrounds. That's so fucking crazy. Per state, COVID-19 voting procedures per state. Overview of changes to election dates and procedures. Adjustment of absentee mail-in voting procedures. One of these two. So let's look up California. Overview of changes to election dates and procedures. Alright. I'm going to go to... Well, there were some changes in Kentucky. Louisiana might have modified its absentees. Candidate filing procedures were different. The absentee ballot applications used in general election included COVID-19 specific reasons to request an absentee ballot. Okay. This isn't the one. Modified to absentee. There's a lot of absentee ballot modification. Huh. Lot, New York had it. Pennsylvania. Witness of notary requirements were suspended for mail-in ballots in Rhode Island. That's interesting. Virginia, absentee mailing vote drop boxes, return absentee mail ballots are used to general election. The witness requirements for absentee was suspended, and all absentee and mail-in ballots had prepaid return postage. What? Voter registration. The state voter registration was extended to October 13, 2020. West Virginia, absentee. Just adjustments to absentee voting procedures and response. So California details the mail-in ballot sent automatically to all voters in November 3rd, 2020 general election. Governor SB 423 into law authorizing counties to consolidate polling places in the November 3rd, 2020 general election, among other So the rural areas weren't able, I remember this, rural areas, which is mostly Republicans that have farms and shoot and have guns, those areas were cut off to a lot of people. Mail-in ballots sent automatically to all voters November 3rd, 2020. That's weird. So the ballots were sent out on the 3rd, so they waited to count those. Have you guys seen this? Let me just get it so you can see it. There's just a lot of crazy shit happened in 2020. And and Fluvid-19 helped it. Governor Mike Parsons, Republican, signed SB 630 into law permitting any registered voter to cast an absentee ballot in a 2020 election subject to a notarization requirement. See? But if you said you had COVID-19, you didn't have to get the notarization. This just so many. It was so ass back. Just everything was wrong. I mean, I'm going to blow up all these. No details. Nothing changed. They knew that some of these states nothing changed. But I'm going to record this because I want people to see that things were just dramatically changed or in some way altered, all because of COVID-19 or Fluvid-19. Details voters required to be notified if the absentee ballots might be rejected due to signature mismatch official. Okay. Details government ballot model. Alright. A lot of different ones here. The postmark in Minnesota. This is a good one. The absentee mail-in ballot postmark deadline for the general election was extended to November 3rd, 2020. Witness requirements for absentee mail-in ballots cast. General election was suspended. Okay. There's all kinds of crazy shit here. It's just lots of different alterations, and there are a few sometimes, but this absentee stuff was just pretty nasty, and they were also given time to count these. All the results weren't totally in. They just gave it to Biden. I think like a few days later, we didn't really know. When was 2020 general? When was the 2020 general election confirmed in the U.S.? Or how the United States the Democratic take a firm action? Here it is. Election results certification dates. Oh, there it is. Look at this. Look at all this time. That's crazy. These are the certification dates. This section lists the estimated canvassing and election result certification dates for 2020. Any canvass's election official verified that each ballot cast in each election was correctly counted. Certification is the process by which the results of an election are made officially. The two processes are closely related, and the terms are sometimes used interchangeably. Links to official results will be added here as they become available. The table below can be sorted by state or date. To sort, and click the arrows in the appropriate column, okay, by date. Delaware had 2 extra days. You know what's interesting? Florida has, I don't know, 6 million people or 8, I don't know, a lot of people, and they were able to fucking, I think 12 million. How many people in the state? What's the population for it? $23 million people, and they had everything paper balloted, counted at 9 p.m. Or I think it was 8. Anyway, 9 p.m. Let's just say 9 p.m. Everything done, all counted, 100%, 100%. Okay. India. India counted 640 million votes in a day. With 900 million eligible voters. Are you seeing that? Wait, hold on. Are you seeing that? Wait, where is it? Oh, crap. Hang on. Right here. Oh, it's not there. It's right here. No, it's not there. It's right here. It's right there. All right. Yeah, just look at that. Is it on this one? Yeah, right here. And then I'm going to go back to here. Florida was able to do it by 9 o'clock. 23 million people. I'm going to go back to the dates, though, here. So let's go down. And I want you to see this because this is huge. Fluvid-19 helped the fraudulent criminal rigging of the 2020 election. I'm telling you. It did. It was part of the plan. It's so fucking obvious. I proved this over and over again. I'm just reiterating it again. And it's just fucking here. It's just in your face, man. It's right in your face. Oh, look at it. They confirmed. Look at this one. They confirmed the These are some big fucking states, though. Look at that. They're not till December. There's a confirmation 35 days fucking after. Look at this. And then some of these are like Guam, Hawaii. Of course, Hawaii is not specified. It's like, what the fuck? This is insane. I know there's certifications that take a little while, but this was nuts. In 2020, this was just out of control. It had definitely been extended. You were supposed to vote on that day, but as far as counting all the votes, it took forever. What could happen or what could go wrong? what could go wrong? Well, I'm going to go through all this, and I'm going to, edit it and snip it up because there's a lot of downtime here. But I am going to say this. Trump, you've got to fucking take him down. Just take him down. Don't give a fuck about if there's a different party or if they think they're gone. They've got to go. They've got to go. Doing something like this and what they did to the J6 and Russiagate and all this other shit that you've been through and this country's been through and what they've done to us, they just need to go. They're fucking a part of the greatest terrorist organization on the planet, the World Economic Forum. Almost everything the Green Party does and basically everything that the Democratic Party does is in sync, in line with the World Economic Forum. Perfectly. Them, the World Health Organization, Chatham House, Council on Foreign Relations, Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, Obama Foundation, Clinton Foundation, all these NGOs. It's not suspect. It's a fucking revealing pattern. Period. And it's got to stop. It's just got to. And look, I'm not big on AIPAC, AIPAC, and I'm sick of Israel, just like most MAGA are. A lot of MAGAs are just like, fuck, we're just done with Israel. We don't want to get there. We don't want to get dragged into some war with Iran or any. Yes, we want the trades to be open. Houthis, I get it. Yemen, I get it. Right? Anyway, all I'm saying is these people just need to go down. And if Trump needs to do it. And if it doesn't start happening, there's going to be a bunch of fucking pissed off people out there. I, for one, will be very pissed off if he doesn't go after fucking the criminal Demoncratic Party and a few Rhipiglians that were along for the ride, which there's a few of them out there. And I'm really concerned about fucking Rubio, by the way. That guy just doesn't sit well with me. Mike Johnson for sure doesn't sit well with me. Anyway, let me just show you the list again. How much time it took to certify these ballots. Fluvid-19 helped. Tulsi Gabbard's out there saying she's got a lot of information to prove that these machines weren't working. Sidney Powell stopped the steal. Giuliani stopped the steal. That should come back. They should fucking bring that back. And then they just totally hosed those two people that were really trying to help Donald Trump. And Ivanka Trump, I think, fucking stabbed him in the back. Ivanka got scared. Something, look, everybody has a little fear about something. But until Trump, and I keep telling everybody this, until Trump is able to better vet, better be able to see what these people are doing around him, to know who he can exactly trust, because it's not 100% right now. There's still a lot of moles probably in the cabinet. I think there's a few that I wouldn't have trusted. I wouldn't have put in, honestly. But there's some that definitely should be in there. One is Tulsi Gabbard, who might be a mole. Who fucking knows? You don't really know. But what I'm saying is, I wanted Tulsi Gabbard, I wanted Kash Patel, I wanted Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Didn't know too much about Pam Bondi. Pete Hegseth, for sure. The guy's a fucking real dude. He likes to drink and party, not anymore, but he's doing his job. Fuck these idiots. Right? I don't want fucking trans, cross-dressing, perverted men flashing themselves in fucking military women's bathrooms. Just bullshit. It's crazy. It's lunacy. Lunacy. Nonsensical, delusional lunacy. For just a couple of fucking mentally ill, fucked up people out there. That doesn't work. Doesn't help anybody. Bottom line, Trump just slowed down the process of the globalists and their agenda. And I'm going to say this, and it's hard for people to get this, but the only conclusion is they wanted to take out, depopulate, and this is part of Al Gore and John Kerry and climate crap with Bill Gates and all this other bullshit. Well, they have, giant estates at sea level next to the oceans, some of the largest oceans, Atlantic and the Pacific. They want to get rid of 2/3 of the planet's population and hoard the rest for themselves. They don't need your likes. They got plenty of money. But they want to use this climate shit to get $78 trillion. I've thrown it up on Facebook. I put it up on here. Right? I'm just telling you, their goal is they can better control 2 to 3 billion people than they can 8 billion people. They know that. They don't want to go to space. They want to keep they want full and total control of this fucking planet. There's a handful of these sick, just disgusting fucking human beings out there. Whatever cult, Satan, whatever they're fucking worshiping doesn't fucking matter. You know, an asshole is always just an asshole no matter how you fucking slice it. And Trump gave us some time. He's not on board with that. Just, you guys need to think of it. I'm telling you. He's not on board with any of that shit. He knows. He's not as naive as most people claim or think. He is a little too, how do I say, trusting with people. He just walks around like nothing's going to... Dude, you've got a great body double or, for fuck's sakes, bro, you just need to be careful. You just need to be careful. These people are desperate, and it's going to get worse. If he doesn't start to get his team, trustworthy, close family team together. If he can make a solid Ohana family of people that he can trust and know that are going to carry his vision, right? To make America great, safe, honest, helpful, secure, healthy, smarter, greater, blah, 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 then let's fucking do it. But I did not in any way, shape, or form want to go in the direction of fucking the Demoncrats. They were just, whoop, just gone. Gone. Anyway, that's it. Aloha. Thank you for listening. This is James of Montauk. Pay attention, people. I'm just telling you, pay attention. I pretty much showed you what's going on. I'm gonna keep my eye on Bondi, see if they're gonna start going after these legislators for J6 and the committee. I'm gonna keep my eye on Tulsi, make sure they keep doing that, what they're supposed to be doing. I'm gonna watch this cabinet, and they better start going after they better kind of. I mean, the low hanging fruit's gonna be there, drug cartels, whatever, all that shit. I get it, which is bad, which could turn out to be extremely bad if we don't get a control of it. I get it. Just make sure the fucking army doesn't start, because it's basically large enough. It's a large enough army to do some serious damage. Possibly out of the 15 to 20 million people that were illegally, treasonously allowed to just walk across the border within 3.5, 4 years, I would say at least 8 million of them could be MK Ultra activated. Who fucking knows? But we do know, and we are seeing, that there are a lot of these cartel members that are transporting high numbers of ammunition, like thousands, like millions of rounds in trucks. It's already been pulled over in several states. You can go look it up. You need some information, I'll find out. I'm not going to look tonight, but they're preparing for something. Let's just hope that they don't fucking do it. Right? Let's hope they don't do it. Because as a Demoncratic supporter that's just beep, you're gonna think that they're fighting for you, but they're not. That's what the mainstream media is gonna portray. If it actually goes down and they get switched on, right? Look up MK Ultra. And they start going at it, and then here comes our troops, here comes our fucking National Guard, etc., cops, law enforcement, whatever it takes. And there's something happening, and you want to join, you better be careful what team you join. The people that have been here going through the same shit that you've been going through, or somebody that just came from who knows fucking where, who the mainstream media is going to try to portray that they're fighting for you. You got to fucking watch these people. They're shady. They're scandalous, mischievous, tricky motherfuckers. It kind of goes beyond 3D chess, by the way, which isn't that hard. Aloha again. Thank you for coming on. It's real simple. Trump, get your fucking team together. Start doing what you need to do. I think it seems like you're doing the right plan. Lots of people are just, they're frustrated. They're like, come on, start arresting Adam Schiff and fucking Liz Cheney. These J6 fucking assholes that created that fucking hoax. Anyway, but it's going to come. They just have to make sure the gavel is strong when it comes down on the pad. That's all I'm saying. Aloha, everybody. It's James Abonatuck.